nothing. I just decided to buy a taxi just to help somebody. As some of you may know, I teach undergrad and master level business courses in the UK. So I'm a lecturer in the UK, and I've also run my businesses. So I have run businesses in Nigeria with my mother. I have also run my own personal business back in Africa. While I have run these businesses, I've only spoken about the good parts of business. So I have never highlighted some of the mistakes I made. So that's what I'm going to focus on in this video. I'm going to talk about a business I started when I was 17 years old. So that was the first business I started on my own without the guidance of my mother, and I'm going to explain what happened and 3 basic business mistakes that I made so that you can learn from it and hopefully this doesn't happen to you. Okay, so when I was 17, I got admission into a university and I got pocket money from my parents, and I was very ambitious because I've always done business with my mother. I wanted to strike out on my own. So I decided to start a business, and that was the first mistake. So I made a business decision based on emotions. I'll give you highlights. So we had a personal taxi driver in school who helped us. So it wasn't our car, so no, we had a taxi driver that we used normally to help us go around school. And what happened was that it came to a situation where they didn't allow his taxi into the university anymore because they said it didn't meet the safety requirements. Okay, so he came to us and he was talking to me that please I should buy him a taxi. If I buy him a taxi, he'll be able to run it for me. I'll be able to make money. And I told him that I don't have money. I don't have money. All my pocket money is what I have for the whole semester. But he told me not to worry about that. He can find me a taxi that will be quite cheap, and when I buy it for him, he would drive it and he would give me a weekly payment, which was supposed to help me take care of my bills. So that was the first mistake. So I went ahead to buy him this taxi. I'm sure by the fact that I called this video a business mistake, you should know that was my first mistake. So I made a business decision just based on emotion because I liked him. I didn't want him to suffer. His family was depending on the money he was making from his taxi, and the university wasn't allowing his taxi back into school. So I made a business decision just based on that. I said, okay, I'll take all my pocket money, I would invest it, I'll buy you a taxi, you give me my weekly money. And that didn't work out for me because I used all my pocket money. I bought him a taxi, and 2 weeks later he came to tell me that his brother actually bought him a taxi that he would like to drive. He can't drive my taxi anymore. And I told him I don't want a car. I never intended to buy a car in school. What am I supposed to do? And I later found out that it was a lie, which is another story if you want to hear about that. So my whole journey as a taxi owner, but that was my first mistake. So I bought a taxi just based on emotion. I didn't want someone to suffer, so I bought him a taxi. That's very wrong. I didn't do any business analysis. I didn't even understand the market, which was the second biggest mistake I made. So I invested in a taxi without understanding how the taxi business works. So before then, I knew how to drive quite alright, but I have never gone to the mechanic by myself. Every time I went to the mechanic, I either went with my dad or my mom or an older cousin or something like that. So I didn't understand how much you pay for spare parts in taxis, and that was the second mistake. I didn't understand the industry. Why would I at 17 be buying a car when I didn't want to drive a car? I didn't understand the industry. I didn't understand nothing. I just decided to buy a taxi just to help somebody and hopefully make some money. I didn't understand how the taxi business worked. I didn't understand anything about cars, and I really paid dearly for this. So the taxi drivers took advantage of this and they inflated the prices. So when something went bad in the car, let's say it cost about 8,000 naira, they would say it's 80,000 naira, and because I had no idea, I just kept on giving them money. And I would explain to you how I survived. If you want to know how I survived that semester, let me know down in the comment section below and I'll make a whole video about it. But because I didn't understand the industry, is something I always advise. Before you go into any business, before you go into any industry, understand the business operations, the industry practices, because it's going to help you. Because the mistake I made, I didn't know anything, and the taxi drivers took advantage of this. At the end of the day, I had to end up driving the car myself, but that's another story for another day. But that's one of the mistakes I made. The third mistake I made was I had no contract. So it goes back to the first point. So Someone I knew, someone I liked, came to me. He was a taxi driver and he was suffering and told me how much his family was going to suffer if I didn't buy him a taxi, and I just went ahead to buy him a taxi with the hope that investing in this business was actually going to help me. It didn't help me, and I really learned from that experience, and that's why every other business I did after the taxi business was successful, just because of how much I learned from the first business. I'm really happy with myself because I was really courageous to invest in a business at the age of 17. I don't know if I would advise other people to do the same thing, because I had my friends and I had my family, my sisters, we all went to the same school to help me, because I didn't have a lot of finances that semester because I had invested all my pocket money into a taxi. I'm also going to make a video on the lessons I learned from this experience. If you want me to make that video, let me know down in the comment section below. If you want to hear the full story about my taxi ownership experience, please let me know down in the comment section below. So, what business lessons can you learn from my experience? The first one is never start a business based on emotion. So don't start a business because you're trying to help somebody, or because you're trying to be nice, or because you're trying to provide for someone. If you want to provide for someone, give them money. Do not start a business for them just based on emotions without doing your business analysis. The second one is make sure that whatever industry you're getting into, you understand it. So you are not just getting into industry that you don't understand, hoping to rely on your employees for the knowledge about the industry, which I did, and that didn't work out for me. And finally, make sure you have a written contract with your potential employees to ensure that the both parties keep to the agreement. Okay, so this is where we're going to end this video today. If you like this video, please share it. Also, please put a comment down in the comment section below, as it helps to boost the video. If you want to hear more stories about my business experience, let me know down in the comment section below, and I would know it's something you're interested in. I will make more videos like this. Okay, please don't forget to click the notification bell so you always know when I upload. Thanks guys, bye.